Hello and welcome. Today we're going to start a series on creating our very first game. So if this is the first time that you've used Unreal or you're just getting started and you want to create your first game, this is the place to be. In this series, we're going to create a ball rolling game where the game can roll around and we're going to have it navigate through a maze. And as it does so, we have to sort of interact with different things in order to maybe open doors or move platforms and really just make it a puzzle game. So with that being said, let's get started. The first thing we're going to do in this video is we're going to set up the player controller, and the game mode, as well as the basic movement. So with that being said, let's begin. We're going to first of all start by creating a new folder. We're going to call this content. And in here, we're going to create two more folders. The first one is going to be called blueprints. And the second one is going to be called modes. So we're going to set up the initial player inside the blueprints, but we're not actually going to create any logic just yet. So let's right click, choose create a blueprint class, and we want to choose a pawn. So we're going to call this BP underscore rolling ball. And then we're going to go back up a level, and then under the modes, we're going to right click and we're going to create two modes. The first one is the player controller. So I'm going to call this BP underscore PC for player controller and custom. And then we're going to create a new blueprint that's for the game mode. We're going to call this BP underscore GM for game mode underscore custom. So let's open up the game mode and we're going to set up the defaults for our game. The first thing that we need to set up is the controller. So under the player controller, we want to choose the controller class we've just created. And for the default pawn, we want to choose the player that we just created. Then under the edit, we're going to go to project settings and we're going to search game mode. And under the game mode, we're going to assign the game mode. So BP game mode custom. So what we've done so far, just to explain what's happened, is we've created a game mode, and the game mode contains all of the default settings within our game, such as what character we're going to use and what controllers we're going to use. And so we assigned that game controller inside the game mode and the player side there, and then we set that to be our project settings. So let's go to our player and let's set up the appearance. So let's open up the player, and the first thing we want to do is we're going to add a sphere. And this sphere is a little big, so I'm going to set the size to be 0.5 by 0.5 by 0.5. I'm going to give this a name. I'm going to call this player ball. And I'm going to click and drag this onto the scene root here, so this actually becomes the root of the blueprint. Then we need to create two items. The first one is the spring arm, and the second is the camera. And the camera is attached to the spring arm. The spring arm is attached to the player. Now, for the player, we want to simulate physics, as this is going to be physics based. And we want to generate hit results. So we're going to turn on generate hit results. For the spring arm, we want to look for the option that says rocks, and we're going to use this use pawn control rotation. We also want to enable this on the camera. Those two options just make sure that later when we add the mouse X and mouse Y, we can rotate around our player. So far, here's what we've done. We have got a player start, and when we play, we should now spawn in as the player. This is because we set this up inside the game mode to have this player to be our default player, and it's set in our project settings. Now, as you notice, we can't move, we can't do anything, so let's set up those basic controls. So let's go back to our content browser, and we want to go to the modes and the game controller. So the game controller is where we set up all the logic to control the player. Now, some people, they might do this inside the player, and some people might do this in the controller. I prefer to do this inside the controller, as it's a little easier to sort of understand that this is the controller and that the settings here can be used on the other players. And then usually you might want to have settings within the player, specifically if they have maybe some type of special ability. So let's first of all set up the mouse. So we're going to type in mouse X and mouse Y. This is the wrong one. This one right here. So for the mouse Y, we want to click and drag off here. I'm going to choose add pitch input. And for the mouse X, I'm going to choose add yaw input. I'm going to put these in. Now, if we were to compile this, and I'm just going to click and drag this up to the top right here, just beside the game, and I press play, now I should be able to move the camera around the ball. Great. So now let's set up the controls. So I'm going to select this, I'm going to press C. It's going to allow me to create a comment. And let's give this a comment like mouse controls. And assign a nice neon pinkish color here, I guess. And press OK. I'm going to click and drag this all the way down here. Okay, so the next thing is we want to be able to add the move forward, move backward, move left, and move right. In order to do that, we actually need to get a reference to our player. So off the event begin play, we want to choose cast to BP underscore, and we want to cast to our player here, so rolling ball. And from the object, we want to get pawn. So get the player pawn. And then from here, we want to simply right click and promote to a variable. And what that does is it gives us a reference to our player character over here. Now from the event tick, this is when we're going to set up the sequence. So let's search for sequence. And the sequence means that we can execute things simultaneously, but in order. So we're going to do A, B, C, and D, but it doesn't mean it's going to wait until the end. It just means that it's going to first fire off A, B, C all at the same time. Now we want 5 initial inputs, one for going forward, backwards, left, right, and here at the end we'll have a jump. So number one, what we want to do is we want to get is down, and we want to get this one that says is pressed down. Oh, not this one. This one is input key pressed down. And this node allows us to assign an input key. And we want to choose the W key. So we click the keyboard icon, press W, and you see the W key has been assigned. And this is a Boolean operation. So we're going to check if this is true or not. So from the track, let's type in branch. And our branch is like an if statement that says, hey, listen, if this key is pressed, let's go ahead and do something. So let's make some space. Now, what is it we want to do? Well, we want to get our player, okay? We want to get the player, and we want to add a force. So from here, we can choose add force. And you can see it's automatically made a conversion for us. That's great. So we've got add force, and it says, hey, we want to add a force to the player ball. So just so you know what's going on here, if we open up the blueprint, we can see that this is the name of the blueprint. So this is the name, BP rolling ball. So here we can see BP rolling ball, and then inside of that we have our ball right here, and we want to get this. So we say, listen, let's get this and let's add a force to it. And here it's asking us, well, what kind of force do you want to add to it? Now, what we want to do is we want to add a force. We want it to go forward. And the way that we can determine if something is forward is if we press play. We see that the camera, wherever it's moving, left, right, we can see that this is the forward direction. So for us to deal with that, what we can do is we can, from the BP ball, the rolling ball, instead of getting the actual mesh here, what we want to do is we want to get the camera. So we're going to say get camera. And we go all the way down to the bottom, and we see we have this option that says get camera. And from the camera, we want to get its forward vector. So this is where it's looking. So get forward vector. And then what we want to do is we want to times this by the speed in which we want the ball to travel. So let's create an add variable, and we're going to call this speed. And let's set this to float and give it an initial value of maybe 500. And we want to take this like so, click and drag this on here so we get it, and we want to click and drag from here. We're going to press the Shift and 8 key to bring up the multiply node, and we want to multiply these two together, and we want to plug this in over here. Now we have an option here that says acceleration change. We want to click this because there's going to be a change in acceleration, and after that we can then compile. In doing so, if we press play, we should now be able to move forward. So as we can see, we're moving forward. Now we can move forward. Well, moving backwards is really easy. It's just the reverse, right? So we can take this and just take all of this and we can copy it. I'm going to press Ctrl C and Ctrl V. And all we got to do here is for the forward vector is we just need to invert it. So if we take these two and just give it a little bit of space and click and drag from here, I'm going to add another times, and this time we're going to right click here, and we just want to convert this to a single float integer. I'm going to set this to be -1. Let's inverse it. We're going to plug this in over here, and finally we need to update which one is being pressed. So we're going to choose the S key, and don't forget to plug this in to the second track. So now if we press play, we should be able to go forward, and we can also go backwards. Now how about left and right? Well, left and right, all we're going to do is take this. So let's actually just move this up a little. Let's press Ctrl C and Ctrl V. Let's plug this in to the third track. We want to go left, so I'm going to click here and press the A key. And actually, instead of getting the forward vector, we just want to get the right vector. So get right vector. And we can plug this in. In doing so, this should now allow us to go left. So we can see we can now go left. Let's see, why can't I go left here? Did we plug this in? Yes, we did. And okay, oh, here's the problem. We didn't plug this into the speed like this. And now we should be able to go left. Yes, now we can go left. So for right, again, we just copy and paste, and all we got to do is invert it. So take this out, we just delete this, plug this in over here. Make sure to update the key that's being pressed. So we're going to be the D key. And I click and drag this up all the way over here. And once that's done, we should now be able to move left, right. We can move forward and backwards. Okay, great. So with that being said, I'm just going to clean this up a little bit, and then and that should be it for this video. So let's press C. I'm going to save forward. Okay, so now we're cleaning this up. That's it for this video. In the next video, we're going to learn how we can make this jump up and down and how we can set it up so once it jumps, it doesn't infinitely jump, and how we can control this using tags. So if you like this video, please remember to like and subscribe. It shows me that you appreciate what I'm doing here. And stay tuned for the next video where we will look at how to create the jumping action. Until then, I'd like to thank you for watching, and bye-bye.